Okay, question 8. How many boards that are 3/4 foot long can you cut from a board that is 12 feet long? Well, I know that I have one long board here that's 12 feet, and I want to break it into equal smaller parts. That tells me it's a division problem. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Listen carefully. If I have an amount of something, in this case it's a board that's 12 feet long, and I want to break it or divide it into equal smaller parts, that tells me it's a division problem. Okay? So I'm going to break them into little bitty pieces that are 3/4 of a foot. So what I want to know is how many of those 3/4 feet can I divide? How many of those can I have? Now we learned when we did our notes that when you're writing a division problem, the first number is the total amount you have to be shared, right? And the second number is how you're grouping it. So there's a difference. 12 divided by 3/4 is not the same thing as 3/4 divided by 12. So you have to be careful. Okay? So 12 divided by 3/4. I know the very first rule here is no whole numbers. So it becomes 12 over 1. Okay? But it's a division problem, so I use my keep, change, flip. I keep my 12 over 1, change it to multiplication, and flip this to make 4/3. Now I'm just going to multiply. 12 times 4 is 48. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, if you left it like this, it's not simplified. Okay, now some of us get stuck. This is improper. This is when you need to divide. Okay, 48 divided by 3 is going to be 16. We're going to cut that board into 16 equal parts. Okay, next one, number 9. We're getting close to being done. Show 3 ways to represent 3 divided by 7. You didn't even have to solve anything here. Okay, you're just showing me different ways to represent a division problem. So I can write 3, and then my little division sign right there, divided by 7. That one's pretty easy. I could write 3 over 7, because remember, every fraction is just a division problem. Okay, the one that we struggle with is this one. Okay, 3 divided by 7. My 3 is my dividend. It's the one that goes in the house there. Okay, a lot of people will look at that and they think that this is 7 divided by 3, but you're reading it backwards. You read it from the inside out. Now, you may have also written 3 and a slash and 7. That's not my preference, but I will accept that as well. Okay, as long as you had 3 of these different ways here, you got your 9 points. Okay, number 10 here. Which statement about 3 multiplied by 2/3 must be true? Okay, well, if I have the number 3 and I'm going to multiply by something less than 1 whole, my answer is going to be smaller than 3. Okay, my answer is less than 3. But if I have the number 2/3 and multiplying by something larger than 1, my answer is going to be larger than 2/3. So we learned whenever we did our reasonableness with multiplication that when one number is greater than 1 whole and one number is less than 1 whole, my answer is between them. Okay, so right here, this answer is C. I think it was one of the only multiple choice questions. Okay, but because of how it's worded, you needed your answer choices here. Okay, the product is between 2/3 and 3. That means it's bigger than 2/3, but less than 3. Last problem, and this one was worth 10 points to get us to an even 100, okay? Juan was presented with the following problem on a math test. Divide 3/4 by 1/16 and show your work. So his work is shown below. What is Juan's mathematical error? And then show correctly how to solve it, okay? Well, 3/4 divided by 1/16. That looks good. Okay, now I know when I divide fractions, the very first thing I do is I have to rewrite it as a multiplication problem using the reciprocal. Okay, but I'm going to be rewriting this as I go. So 3/4 divided by 1/16. I know that what I would have to do is keep change flip. So keep my 3/4, change it to multiplication, and flip the second one. Is that what was done here? No, that's silly. This one, actually, this was a very common mistake that students make. They try to flip both fractions. The keep change flip, that means you keep the first one the same. So the mistake here was that one took the reciprocal of both fractions, and that's not what you need to do. You only flip the second one, okay? But now when we're going to finish solving it correctly, 3 times 16 is what? 48. And 4 times 1 is 4. So 48 divided by 4 is 12. Okay, so as long as you explained the error, that he flipped that first fraction, and then you solved it yourself, you got all 10 points, okay? And here's your rubric on your paper that tells you what partial credit you would have earned for only doing part of the problem. Okay, you're going to have an opportunity for a retest. It will be homework tonight, and there's not going to be a rubric. It is either right or wrong, okay? And it's 10 problems. If you don't have the work on it, it's wrong, okay? You have one opportunity to bring this up for your retest, okay?